about being where the action is, not about creating a destination, so to speak. So I want you to be thinking about all the different tools, all the different places, and all the different destinations where you can have a presence and where you can aggregate your presence. You have to have your personal brand. It needs to have 4 things. It absolutely needs to be compelling to your audience. Number 2, it needs to be absolutely authentic, consistent, number 3, and be visible. Make it your own. Don't worry about trying to be like someone else or following your competitors. Just be you. And find out what your USP is. Everyone has one. It's your unique selling position. What is it? What makes you different? What makes you stick out from everyone else? Dig deep and find out what separates you from the clutter that's out there. Is it all about ego or producing value? It's definitely not about ego. It's about producing value. As you see here, Yoda says, "Judge me by my page rank, do you?" It's avoiding the trap. It has to do with personal branding. That's pretty good. Personal branding is not about look at me, look at what I'm doing, look at my numbers. It's not a race. You want to crush the status quo. You want to build your brand by building projects. We heard from Dave Troy earlier. He's built some great projects that follow his brand. Think about it. Social Dev Camp East. He's a developer and programmer. Beehive Baltimore. He wants people to aggregate and work together and share. And then you have the Baltimore Angels Network, a network to help fund companies and startups with great ideas. It helps and it builds his brand. So do projects that help you to build your brand. And hopefully what you can see is that doing these projects, you'll come up with a couple of things. Here's a project that I actually did that I think works well with my brand. It's called Tech Tech Boom. It's about youth, kids, and getting more and more high school kids into science and technology. We hired 11 teenagers. They created this website with Mind Grub Technologies, and this is a place now that's like kind of a mashup of MySpace, Facebook, and YouTube for kids interested in science and tech. So they put it together. We kind of crowdsourced it a little bit and brought them into it. But the point is, it's a project that helps to build my brand of technology advocacy and technology community and driving more people to be engaged and interested in science and technology. So what's your motive? Don't build a project for project branding's sake, just for doing it. Do it because you want a project that has measurable impact. That measurable impact equals personal reputation. Your personal reputation is your brand. Your personal reputation is your brand. So let's look at some of those. Your reputation is built upon your past experiences, your track record. And it's all personal branding is often an ego-based image, but let's look at some better examples where they're not ego-based. The first example that we're going to take a peek at is a person that probably many of you know, internationally well known. How many people here know Chris Brogan or have heard the name? All right, cool. Well, if you know what Chris is about, it's really not all about Chris. Although Chris has a great name and great branding, and he has his own domain and all that good stuff. It's not about Chris. A lot of times it's about him helping others. For example, on his website, there's almost like a white pages directory of different categories where you can add yourself right to his category of white pages of people that are in technology or bloggers or arts or whatever your field is. So my point is, like Chris, you can focus on helping others, not just yourself. And look at what some other local examples have done. Both of these guys do stuff nationally and internationally as well. Dave Troy has DaveTroy.com. Mike Subelski has Subelski.com. Notice a common thread here, personal branding. How many of you here have your own domain name? Yes, all right. So the ones that don't have their domain name or don't have your hands up, please, when you get a chance today, go and register your name. It's that important. You should care about your brand and your .com. So my advice today is make sure that you go, if you haven't done so already, go out and get your own. Now, at the end of the day, don't be defined by your title. You're not an employee or just a staff or a worker. I mean, who cares? No one cares about that stuff. What people care about is way more compelling than what you have to share. You have something that's better than a title. You have what I call your brand is way more interesting than just your title. Let's take the Michael example a little bit further. He's the co-founder of Other Inbox. He's a hacker. He's a Ruby on Rails developer. He's a Sprout 4 neophyte. And he's also an improv theater director here in Baltimore. Your brand has much more of a story to tell than your title. Don't use your title. Use your brand. Do you want to be a brand? Relentless focus on your value. Throw out old naming conventions. Know what you're most proud of. And number 4, please shamelessly take credit for it yourself. It's okay. Do it. It's all right. Share. We want to know. And bottom line, there's no defined success strategy. No excuses. I want you to start now. Remember, the whole is greater than the sum of